What's up, everybody? Weekly Q&A, and got some cool stuff on deck for you guys. We're actually doing a workshop today in a couple hours. Now, I don't know if any of you have children, but today is just one of those days where children are not cooperating. the joys of working from home, but we find ways around it. Um, yeah, I want to congratulate old Barnsey, who's on our workshop today, who actually already signed up as first person. There's something pretty amazing, by the way, when you get the first one going, and then the second one, and then you really start to build some momentum. Um, and when I say the first one, I mean like with your like dialed in offer. Like, so even if you've been doing this 10 years, the first one you have with a dialed in offer is like the key to like as much as you want to scale as humanly possible. And you'll reach a point, by the way, where money will no longer motivate you in your agency, where just taking more clients doesn't excite you because it means for a lot of people more work. um, so anyway, just wanted to share that because I thought it was a really cool win to sign up your first person. um, so let's get to the questions. Jay says, I have a couple of friends who are strictly salespeople that are interested in working for me. They are not familiar with digital marketing. Are there any courses on Facebook ads, SEO, that any of you would recommend I could use to get them up to speed strictly to sell for me? Um, Jace, I know that can be really, really appealing because the idea that you can have people go out there and sell for you and you don't have to pay them unless it works can sound really good. But in my experience, more often than not, especially if they're like friends and family with no actual skills in this market, they're probably gonna fail. I hate to break that to you. Like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but don't do it in a way where you're risking the friendship. Just say, hey, let's try something small and see if it works. My advice to you is not to train them on a course, but to get them up to speed on your offer, because that's the thing that's going to make it work or not. So, um, you know, what I try and do personally is put as much of my pre-selling into it to make their job as easy as possible. So I might send a series of videos or testimonials or social proof or all those things before somebody gets on a call with us, so that when you do have your salesperson selling for you, that it's really not that dependent on their sales. Because if you have a really good offer and they've been pre-sold using the tools you give them, most salespeople will succeed. If you're just basically like thinking that, hey, it's no risk to me because I got a commission-only salesperson, and they'll go out there and sell some packages, in my experience, probably not going to happen. So use your pre-selling, make your offer dialed in, and you'll find that almost anybody can go out there and sell for you. Baron, why some emails land in spam, promotion, or primary Gmail folders? Baron, we could do like an essay on that. The short version is Gmail looks for all the cues that give away promotions, so lots of images, lots of links, usually like a newsletter formatting, and they like to put stuff that goes for your friend and family. I did actually a whole thing on a recent event that's going to go live in like 2 weeks, called the Inbox Summit. I'll put a link below for those of you who are interested in it. But basically, it's my talk is about like selling, our kind of high end services, SEO and Facebook ads and AdWords and all those kind of things, just through email without getting on the phone. It's just kind of a specialty of mine. And a big part of it is getting through to the not getting stuck in the promo folder. And a big part of not getting stuck in the promo folder is kind of like I say, write like your mother does. Like everybody else tries to make fancy, pretty graphics, and just write like one human to another. And you'll find it gets delivered more often. So that's the shortest answer I can give you, is write like your mother. Um, Jared, what's everyone's recommendations for reputation management software? Jared, I've never really found one I liked. I haven't really looked in the last few years, so it's entirely possible that there's been updates. We actually do this old school with like a simple filtering website and then the same kind of technology filtered in a piece of paper, meaning like when we want to get reviews, the best way to do it is when a client has them on the ground floor in person. So we've trained some of our clients. They give them a little piece of paper, the person writes out their testimonial, and then you say, wow, that's great. And as long as it's good, of course, you're not going to ask them to post a live testimonial that's shit. And you say, hey, would you mind posting this to our website or to Google or whatever? And you have them take out their phone and actually do it, which is really powerful, especially for brick and mortar. Usually, I find most brick and mortar, you get 100 reviews, especially like high ticket niches, they'll triple their business just from that. So it's really, really powerful. Will, can anyone explain to me the difference in strategy when wanting to rank for a term such as solar panels or best life insurance company within a city versus nationally or internationally? I understand local SEO to a pretty good degree, but I've never understood how to rank nationally for a term rather than locally. I mean, the short answer, Will, there's people who can answer this question better than I can because, I don't really do a whole lot of SEO. It's just never really fun for me, even though I'm sure I could whip it out right now and not whip it out, but I could go and rank number one for any kind of keyword I wanted to go after. But the short answer is really you're just optimizing for it. So if you're trying to rank for life insurance Cincinnati, then you're going to build links that are local to Cincinnati. Your page is going to mention the word Cincinnati. Some of your anchor text is going to say life insurance Cincinnati. If you're just trying to rank for life insurance, it would obviously be hugely, hugely competitive. But let's just say, for theory's sake, that you were, then you would build a lot of links that aren't local to Cincinnati and that would be all over the world, and you would optimize for it. And that pretty much and then you wouldn't probably likely have a physical map location as well. That's the other piece. So that's the short answer. Um, Matic, anybody else had a disabled Facebook ad account in the past? How long does it take for Facebook to enable it again? Uh, Matic, you'll be waiting a long time. Facebook's kind of an asshole. You don't know this. Everybody thinks like, oh, just follow the policies and they won't ban you. But I have like some of my friends own the biggest agencies in the world, and they followed like the policy life and death, like everything depends on it, and you still get banned. So um, you will never ever, if you run any kind of volume, keep 100% of your Facebook ad accounts. So the short answer is just make another one, and don't use the same credit card to sign up for it. But if you do that, you can get going, and you can actually pass um, like your custom audiences from one account to the other. It's a real pain in the ass, and I kind of wish there was some like human appeals policy, but they just have terrible customer service. Except that it's like 99% likely gone, and you will never be getting it back. But just move on to the next one, and as a longer term play, get off of just having 100% of your business be coming from Facebook, or the 100% of the way you generate results for clients being based on Facebook. Because if you do that, life will get a lot easier. By the way, the easiest way to do that is with their own customer list. Before they need Google traffic or Facebook, they need to know how to sell to the people they already have. So that's my best tip for you there. John, hi, can someone give me an idea? I've got someone ask me to run a Facebook ad or boost a post for about a week to promote a particular house as it's going to auction. How much should I charge her, and how much should she spend on this ad? Um, John, that's a tricky one. I would tell you in the future, by the way, don't get into contracts where you have no idea what it's going to take to be successful, because it sounds really cool that you get money today. But what will happen, and I've seen this cycle happen with so many people, is you'll end up with a disappointed client, which will only make it harder to sell the next one because um, you carry that on your conscience. So if you're not really sure how much you need to spend or what you need to do to make it work, don't take those clients. But having said that, you're in it now, so um, it really kind of depends. But I've seen people take rental houses and make little offers like, "Hey, if you even just come out and look at this, I'll give you a $20 Starbucks gift card," and people will come out just for the gift card. So like that's an example of a winning offer that works. So it depends. Like obviously the asset you're selling itself has to be worth it. It sounds like you're selling a piece of real estate that's about to be foreclosed on, if I understand correctly. Um, so before you do that, you got to like make people come and look at it, and the right people to target obviously would be investor types. But um, like I said, in the future, don't get into contracts where you're not sure what it's going to take to work. But the other thing you can do is see who's already created something similar that's working like that. You can post in some groups and ask if you can lease their materials. It's a trick of mine that I've used a lot, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. Um, find somebody who's already doing it and copy it, and pay them a little bit of money, which they're almost always open to. Um, Michael, what books actually helped you succeed? So many. Um, what comes to mind most? Definitely, I've really been a big fan of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and um, James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. They're really about like what's between your ears. But before you can make a bunch of money in business, you got to have that dialed in, as well as more practical. Really, anything Dan Kennedy or Jay Abraham will teach you like all the marketing principles you need to succeed long term. And I think that's a really important thing because like I've seen people have like a really successful $150,000 a month, but fizzle out really quick. That's not success in my books personally. Like I'm talking about like the kind where you're still, you know, happy and running it and making a bunch of money and have free time and have a life, 10 years later. If you want that kind of business, Jay Abraham, Dan Kennedy, both marketing legends. Do do do. Kyle, do you run like campaigns for business starting out, or do you think it's just a waste of money? Now, Kyle, probably 99% of the world would tell you this is all a waste of money, like campaigns and engagement. I have a lot of friends in e-commerce who are doing, anywhere from like five to even as high on the high end as $300,000 per day, if you can believe that. But not steady, but like they've peaked at 300,000. I think they're probably average more from like 80 to 100,000 a day, but a really high day for them was 300,000. And anyway, a lot of them, when they're testing a new product, they'll put it in front of the world and they'll do it with likes and engagement campaigns to see if people go, I want that. And so they're only using it as a means to test a product. So they'll do it for like 10 or 20 bucks. And the response they're looking for is, oh, that's really cool. Where can I buy one? Um, if they get that kind of response, then they'll run a real campaign. But otherwise, like campaigns are pretty much useless. I know some business owners will want you to do them, so that's probably an entirely different story. But as a whole, for like actually selling products and making money and creating transactions, they're pretty useless on that front. Evo, just saying, I keep hearing from prospects, all from different niches, that Facebook ads are a total waste of money and stop doing it and put all their money into Google. Seems Facebook ads are getting less and less popular among businesses at the moment. Thoughts? Yeah. Evo, that means a lot of business owners have been burned by people selling Facebook ads as the magic pill, and that you need to kind of like position your offer differently if that's what you're doing. And it's easy for people to see that like Google is like buyer's intent traffic. Like if I search for, car dealer, auto mechanic, Boston, I'm looking to hire somebody. I'm going to give my money to somebody. So that traffic tends to convert, but it's also a lot more expensive. And Facebook's a different animal where it's, interruption or disruption marketing, basically like a billboard on the side of the highway where they weren't looking to buy. And so therefore, like you got to warm them up and you got to have a process that follows that whole thing, usually like some kind of sign up to some kind of conversion piece to like an education, indoctrination kind of sequence. So if you're lacking that, it's not going to work. And I think it sounds like most people are just running like Facebook ads that aren't working for people and they've been burned. But take that as a sign that actually means there's a huge, huge market there, because if a lot of people are saying they tried it and didn't work, positioning yourself as the solution for why those things didn't work is like a huge opportunity in and of itself, right? Like if you ask them why they didn't succeed with Facebook ads, and they'll say, things like, I don't know, they just ran terrible ads, then you can run the angle that, hey, we don't run like the same terrible ads that everybody else runs. So, half the battle is Facebook ads really do work, but I would never tell you to do just one thing for a business owner anyway, whether it's Google or Facebook. You want to find the best, fastest, shortest solution. And my kind of shortcut for that is, where is there already flow in their business? Like are the sales and transactions happening? Because chances are they can multiply that. So like really simple example, I would get lawyers who would say to me, I'm getting all these referrals. They're very hit and miss, but I want to run Google ads so I can like not be dependent on referrals. And I would say, well, what are you doing to make the referrals happen? And they would always inevitably say, nothing. And I said, well, gee, do you think if we did something, we could even increase the number of referrals? And they would say, like what? And we would do something. So before I go out and chase like Google AdWords, which works by the way, but you're taking no flow and trying to create flow. And even if you do that, there will be other obstacles, like they may suck at answering the phone. You can take a while for your targeting or your ads to get dialed in. All those things can happen, right? So it takes effort and energy to create flow. But if they have flow already, why couldn't we just do something to multiply those referrals? So before you do the hard stuff, do the easy stuff, and that'll make your whole life a lot easier. And don't get in this idea that you sell Facebook ads. What you sell are results and solutions to problems to people, and they're always interested in buying that. So that's all the questions we got today. It was a short one. If you guys are interested in the Inbox Summit, it's free, by the way. I'll post a link before, and you can check out my talk on closing these kind of services, these high ticket things, strictly through email or chat messenger without having to get on the phone with clients. Pretty exciting thing, I think, in general. So if you're interested in that, I will share the link and go ahead and register and watch it because it's pretty cool.